Salutations, mortals and children of the nights. I am the vampire otaku, and I'd like to discuss the mangas that have sentimental value to me, the mangas that shaped my childhood and shaped certain things that I still do and still enjoy to this day. The first manga I'd like to talk about is Sailor Moon. Sailor Venus being my favorite Sailor Scout. This manga was one of the first I've ever read. While a lot of other people my age were watching Dragon Ball Z and reading Dragon Ball Z and Yu Yu Hakusho and Rurouni Kenshin, I enjoyed all of those mangas and animes, but I also enjoyed Sailor Moon. Even though it was deemed girly, it just gave me the chance to go outside of what was expected for my gender to like shonen. I decided to also like shoujo, and I love the characters' dynamics. I love their friendship, and it taught me just how important friendship really can be. And I love how powerful they were, but also how vulnerable they can be, especially with each other. This series is very popular, and for good reason. It had a lot of core elements that makes shoujo great. A lot of things to learn from this series as it progressed on. So this series hold it near and dear to my heart. It has excellent art and just well known around the world. Next, we move on to Initial D. This manga means a lot to me. This manga gave me the courage to want to try to get into motorsport myself. It inspired me to learn how to drive a stick shift. And on this cover right here, the blue car is the Toyota MR2 SW20. I actually went and bought one of those cars because I was so inspired by the character Kai Kogashiwa, who drives this car in this series. The anime is full of amazing music, it's full of action, and the manga really shows a sense of speed when the cars are moving. And it has a unique flavor that a lot of other animes and mangas have used and paid homage to. This is a 90s manga that still looks amazing for its time, and I believe it stands the test of time. Very good stuff. The next manga I'd like to talk about is Revolutionary Girl Utena. This is the omnibus hardcover. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Another shoujo. This manga gave me the courage to stand behind not fitting gender norms, not only watching and reading shonen, but also enjoying shoujo despite the fact that it was geared towards girls. I love the fact that the main character, Utena, wants to be the prince and not the princess, not the damsel in distress, but the savior. She doesn't want to fit any of her gender norms or stereotypes, and I felt the exact same way. And after reading this, I realized that gender roles don't really apply to me. Whereas I wear makeup, I wear whatever type of clothes I want. This manga gave me the courage to do those type of things without fear. The art is beautiful. Not a lot of shading, but beautiful line work and excellent proportions, especially for the time period. This came out in the early 2000s, I believe. It's gorgeous art. So this manga also holds a very special place in my heart. Next manga I want to talk about is Nodame Cantabile. This manga was a joy to read and is also a joy to watch as an anime. I play violin and I absolutely adore classical music. My favorite composers being Tchaikovsky, Mendelssohn, Handel, Bach, Beethoven, the greats, the list goes on and on. This anime has a lot of amazing music in it, and the manga has a lot of very colorful characters and very unique circumstances. I've never seen a manga where it was based in music where the main character wanted to become a conductor. There's not a lot of mangas that have that dynamic. And the main character, Chiaki, really goes through a lot of development. At first being a stuck-up jerk to being humbled and being hungry for the opportunities to write music, to conduct orchestras, to just fight for his dreams. He had at one point given up on his dreams, but Nodame actually helped him realize that his dreams were worth fighting for. So it's a josei. It's got a lot of comedy in it, but it also has a lot of precious, beautiful moments. And the art isn't, the best or the most detailed, but I love it because it aids to the comedy, because this manga and anime can be very funny at times. Really enjoy this one though. A lot of great characters. And last, but most certainly not least, Yawamushi Pedal. It's my favorite character from the manga and the anime, Naruko. I love cycling. I love biking. And at one point, one of my dreams was to be in the Tour de France, the most prestigious and largest road cycling race in the world. Lance Armstrong, so many great cyclists have graced that stage. Peter Sagan, many more. I really enjoy this manga because there are realistic parts that coincide with the sport, but also there are a lot of aspects that would never really work out in the sport, but it really adds to the entertainment. There are a lot of beautiful core values in this manga that I enjoy. Like Sailor Moon, you have teamwork and uplifting your teammates and helping them when they're down, and they help you when you're down, and they all want to get across the finish line together as a team. And I find that a beautiful aspect. They push their bodies to their absolute limits just to make sure that the jerseys that they wear cross the finish line first. The thing I love about this manga is they cover details about cycling and the sport that get overlooked or just aren't known, and lingo that's not really known by the average person that may ride a bike. For instance, instead of calling it a bike seat, call it bike saddle. Cleats for your cycling shoes. A lot of people don't know that cyclists use special shoes. Or a bike computer to show how fast you're going, how long you've been riding, your power output known as wattage. All those aspects are overlooked or unknown by the average person that rides a bicycle, but they're put in here in an informative way, but it's not overwhelming. The art here is very strange, but very unique. And just like Initial D, it really shows a sense of action and a sense of movement. It's conveyed in a very beautiful way. And it's really fun to read. I haven't finished reading the manga, but I've watched all the episodes of the anime, and I'm excited to read all of this. And these are the mangas that have sentimental value to me. They have changed an aspect of my life and made me happy to be knowledgeable about manga, happy to know that they exist. Initial D inspired me to get into motorsport and to purchase a car with a stick shift. I looked for an anime and a manga that talked about cycling, and when I found Yawamushi Pedal, it sparked my love for this sport even more. And whenever I read, I just want to get on my bike and ride as fast as I can. no dame constabile. It makes me laugh. It makes me cherish the people that are around me. And it makes me want to grab my violin and play and practice and just make beautiful music. Sailor Moon makes me cherish my friendships and everyone in my life that has graced my life and made me have a different perspective on the way that I live my own life. And Revolutionary Girl Utena makes me proud to not follow gender norms and to live my life exactly the way that I want with no fear. All these mangas are very fun to read, very easy to read, and they're beautiful works of art. Unfortunately, Initial D, a lot of that's out of print, so the best way to read that would be online. Yaomushi Pedal, you can find most of those. I believe volume 3 and 10 are just very difficult to find. Revolutionary Girl Utena is now in a beautiful omnibus hardcover. They do have single volumes, but those are very hard to find. And Sailor Moon it's a classic, it's a legend, it's always readily available. These mangas mean the world to me, and I hope that if you haven't heard of some of them, you check them out. Thank you so much for checking me out, and I'm the Vampire Otaku, and can't wait to talk more about manga. Take care.